Welcome back. We are ready. Andrew Berry is the new Browns GM. Is that what I see there? Wow. All right. That's an interesting one. The Browns have landed their new general manager, Mary Kay Cabot, is reporting Monday that the Browns are hiring Andrew Berry to fill the spot opened when John Dorsey was fired at the end of the 2019 season. 5-year deal is expected to be announced this afternoon. Berry is set to have an executive vice president title as well. Spent last season as vice president of football operations for the Eagles. He was the vice president of player personnel for the Browns from 16 to 18, so he'll be reunited with many familiar faces once he's formally installed in his new job. The Browns also interviewed Vikings GM George Patton twice about the vacancy, but Patton pulled his name out earlier this week. That left many with the impression that Berry was likely the choice. The feeling now is proven correct. So there you go. Nice job for Andrew Berry. He gets the opportunity. I was wondering if he would ever get an opportunity. But you always wonder about the minorities, right? Because it's like they never really get a fair shake as it is. So, and when they do get an opportunity, they actually don't get the real opportunity. They kind of get like a really short leash, and then they eliminate your ass. You know what I'm saying? Ex-Jaguar safety Donovan Darius is arrested and hospitalized. Donovan Darius was arrested and charged with driving under the influence on Sunday, according to Mike DeRocco. And Darius, 44, was then taken to the Jacksonville hospital for mental health evaluation after telling rescue workers he had ingested 20 to 30 pills and that he was suicidal. Police and rescue units responded to a vehicle crash at 10 a.m. on Sunday and found Darius disoriented in the driver's seat of his car. He was placed in an ambulance. That's when he told rescue workers that he had taken the pills. Police found 2 pill bottles in Darius's car, but were unable to conduct a field sobriety test because Darius was unable to stand on his own and had very slurred speech. He was hospitalized under the Florida Mental Health Act of 71, which allows involuntary institutionalized examination of an individual for up to 72 hours if that individual is suspected of having mental illness or is in danger of harming themselves or others, commonly called the Baker Act. It can be initiated by judges, law enforcement officials, physicians, or mental health professionals. And Darius was an absentee, booked into jail, and charged with misdemeanor DUI. No court date has been set. Just get help. Get help, folks, because that's what he needs in a big-time way. Wow. All right. So you've got some of that. Let's see. What else do we have here also? Those are some of the very interesting notes in pro football, by the way. The NFLPA also leaders have scheduled an important meeting Thursday morning with the Board of Players' representatives to discuss the status of the collective bargaining talks and get the board's input on how to proceed, according to Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero. And it's a significant step after months of formal and informal bargaining sessions between the union and the NFL, which continues to push for the option of expanding the regular season to 17 games as part of next year's TV deals and a condition of increasing players' share of revenue and other issues. The current collective bargaining agreement is set to expire in 2021, and both sides want to avoid a work stoppage, although most people feel like it's the inevitable, and that's what's going to end up happening when it's all said and done. We'll see. We'll see what happens in that case. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can do it at 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. You can also reach out on Twitter at Big O Show. Many ways to reach out to us here on the program so you can stay in touch with all of us. What else do we have here? No, I'm not seeing any kind of developments in the Khobi Bryant. And here's the one thing in this development with Khobi. What are we looking for? Are we dying to point fingers? Are we just dying of? I almost feel like people are dying for this investigation to get going so we can blame Khobi for not having a proper helicopter, or that the pilot didn't do this, or that the airport and the officials were wrong for giving him clearance to fly when authorities were benching and or not benching, grounding their copters. I almost feel like we're dying to blame somebody already. You know? It's really weird. I just get that feeling like people are clamoring for it. And and I think it's kind of a second nature thing, right? Because a buddy of mine, I'm talking to him yesterday. Actually, we're texting back and forth. And I believe the helicopter is like a 1989 or something like that. And my buddy goes, "Well, why is that helicopter so old?" And I go to him, "Brother, I'm not a helicopter expert. Maybe he's changed the engine, and that doesn't matter because I grew up with a trucker in my dad who had hundreds of trucks in his lifetime, and I grew around truckers. And one of the things that I realize about they'll keep their trucks for a long, long time. They'll change engines and transmissions, and the truck will be just fine. It'll last forever. So I don't know how long you go with a helicopter or an airplane. I have no idea. I don't know what the standard amount of years is of wear and tear or whatever, or if you're able to maintain it and upbring it and all that. And that's what I told my buddy. I go, "Dude, I'm not an expert on this. I have no idea if that was a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if he's kept it up. Khobi's got money. Maybe he's made the proper changes to keep it running smooth with no problem. And apparently he uses it all the freaking time." I mean, what are you going to do when it's your time, it's your time. And no matter what, you're not going to do anything about it. But I almost feel like a lot of people are just waiting to get some information to point fingers at somebody, because that's how they're going to feel better about this. And I don't know how you're going to ever feel better about this at all in any way, shape, or form. If Khobi did not keep up maintenance, if it was a fluke accident, if the FAA made a mistake in letting them fly, if the pilot made a mistake, if whatever you can find, it doesn't bring Aaliyah back. It doesn't bring Lisa Left Eye Lopes back. It doesn't bring back Valens, Richie Valens. It doesn't bring back Leonard Skinnard. I mean, I could just go on and on and on and on. It doesn't bring back Doc Holliday. Lots of people have passed away in these kind of accidents. And what are we going to do? We're going to start pointing fingers? Is that really what it's all about?
If the National Transportation Board finds somebody was negligent, there will be criminal charges.
I get it, but not going to do anything. It's not going to help.
It's not going to bring them back.
Doesn't do anything.
No.
Doesn't do anything for any of us. I know they put too many luggages in Aaliyah's plane, right? I think that's why it went down or something. Too much weight because they were dying to get back or whatever it was. Not going to bring Aaliyah back, man. We can point fingers and we can lay, but that's what I almost feel like the people that are clamoring to find out, it's because they're dying to point a finger at somebody. And God forbid that it's Khobi forgot a maintenance. Now people's, well, it's Khobi's own fault. He didn't, and so they'll feel better about it. Like, oh, well, it was his fault. I'm moving on. One of those kind of deals. I almost feel like that. That's what some people are just waiting for. To pounce. And at this point, it's not about that, man. It's about grieving. It's about supporting. It's about understanding. There's so many lives that are just absolutely wrecked after yesterday. The pilot's family, the coach's family, the kids, the Kobe, the basketball world, the Laker nation. I mean, this has affected so many people. There are 9 people that died, and all their extended families are crushed. That's what we got to do, is find a way to support those people. Find a way to comfort them. That's what they need. You know, Vanessa needs privacy now. She needs understanding. She needs support. It's not about hey, let's find out who's at fault here and let's just go after them. The tragedy's done. Unless this is an act of terror, that's the only thing that could get me livid. Outside of that, there was some kind of human error, some kind of a mechanical flaw, and guess what? Human error is normal. Mechanical flaws happen. Those are things that, like I said before, when it's your time, it's your time. And you're just not going to do anything about it. But there is a part of me that there's like a piranha-like attitude waiting for the other shoe to fall on this one. You know? I just kind of what I see. That's all. 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can always reach out to us there. Also on YouTube, remember to give us the thumbs up when you're watching the YouTube broadcast. We always appreciate that, ladies and gentlemen, for helping us out and support. And by the way, we are 18 subscribers away from 1,000. How about that? We have climbed quickly to already 982 subscribers. So nice job by all of you out there. Just started this, kind of pushing this thing a couple months ago. So thank you very much. We're almost there. Almost. I know it's not a super important measurement of a QB, but did you hear an expected 40 time for Jordan Love or for Justin Herbert? Help me win a bet, Big O. Thanks. Brother, you'll get that at the Combine. Next month, you'll get your bet. That's when you do it. They don't do the 40s now in the Senior Bowl, my friend. The Underwear Olympics happen over at the Combine. So you and your buddy will have to wait to get an official time. You'll have to wait till the Combine. Okay? That's all I can tell you, man. I'm sorry to disappoint the hell out of you on that one, but nobody has their official 40 times because they don't exist. Everything that's out there is bogus, created, something that happened last year or 2 years ago or 3 years ago in some field, and some PR guy for their schools put it up. Nothing official. You want official? It'll be in late February in Indianapolis. That's when you'll get your official 40 times between those guys. And yes, it's not important whatsoever. It means nothing, the 40 time. That's funny. That's really funny. Hey, did you hear about Sammy Hagar, Whitesnake, and Night Ranger coming? So for those of you that don't know, Sammy Hagar and the Circle, they're coming along with Whitesnake and Night Ranger. That's going to be a fun concert. You're going to that one, right? I want to go to that one. Tickets, by the way, go on sale the 31st, which means you got 4 days. At 10 a.m., they will go on sale. And they are coming to South Florida. July 9th, they will be coming to the I Think Financial Amphitheater. Do you know what the I Think Financial Amphitheater is, Mr. Bill Preston? Huh? Do you know? Do you know what the I Think Financial Amphitheater is? Have you ever heard of it? That's the Cruzan, the Sony, the Coral Sky. What else? Help me out. It's had Cruzan,
Perfect
Sony,
vodka.
Perfect Vodka. I wrote those down. I wrote those four down. I
That's
wrote
as proud
Sony,
as
Cruzan, Perfect Vodka, and Coral Sky. But I know I'm missing one. I know it was Sony. I remember Cruzan, Perfect Vodka, and Coral. It always goes back to Coral Sky when they lose the sponsor. They go back to Coral Sky. Sound Advice. I knew I was missing one. It was a Sound Advice amphitheater. And there's another one too, I think. There might be even one more. Help me out there. Is this it? The history of the Coral Sky. It's Coral Sky, Perfect Vodka, Cruzan, Sony, Sound Advice, and now I think Financial Amphitheater. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different names. Okay? Is there another name we're missing? There's got to be one more, right? Just seems like there's another one. But anyway, and for those of you that listen, because, we got listeners all over the world now, which is freaking amazing. But for my friends right across the state in Tampa, July 11th, they will be at the Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater for that one. Looking forward to that show. I just hope that David Coverdale he did not sound good the last time I saw him. So I'm wondering, did David Coverdale lose his fastball? Or was he sick that night? I know Jack Blades, and I'm forgetting the drummer, because, the drummer sings Sing Me Away and Sister Christian. He sounds great still, and so does Jack Blades. And I know for a fact that Sammy Hagar still sounds great, so I'm good. 2 of the 3 bands I know their singers are going to sound good. David Coverdale, I just want to warn you, because the last time I saw David, he sounded terrible. It was really, really bad. He needed the backup singers to really carry his ass. He could not do any of the screeching anymore. Now, again, he might have been sick that day. I'm not sure. If any of you actually know why, pass it on. Tell me here on the YouTube chat board or on the accidentlawfirm.com text line 786-322-1105 or on Twitter at Big O Show. If you want to reach out to us also on Twitter, that's another way that you can always reach out to us. Let me see what we got here. Yes, I know they run at the combine, but sometimes they have times coming out of spring at their school. Thanks anyways. Don't go with that. They lie about their height. They lie. No, don't ever. That's not a bet you want. You don't know. That's not official. You got to wait till the combine. Do not do that stuff. Okay? All the stuff that's in those media guides is bogus. If they're really fat, they lie about their weight. If they're shorter than what they really are, they lie about the height. And if they ran a 4.4, they'll make it sound like a 4.35. And if he ran a 4.35, they'll say, well, it's a 4.29. Or something like that. You cannot believe any of that. So I'm just saying. Mal from Virginia says, if Chiefs lose the Super Bowl, could Mahomes become the generation's Dan Marino by making it to the Super Bowl early in his career once, but never returning again? Yeah, sure, if that's the case. But Mal, dude, you're getting ahead of yourself. You already have the kid losing and never going back to a Super Bowl. You are one cruel sumbitch. Holy moly. Really? Are you going to do that to the poor kid? Come on, man. Don't wish that on him. Now, if he doesn't go to the Super Bowl next year and the year after that and the year after that because the Miami Dolphins are in it every year, well, now that's a whole different ballgame now. Now, Mal, we're talking some good stuff there. Okay? Can you get me and the Dolphins into the Super Bowl every year? I know eventually they're going to win some. Yeah. That's the only way it becomes acceptable. If it's my beloved Dolphins making the Super Bowl every year, screwing over Mahomes and everybody else in the AFC, including the Patriots. Yeah. I'll take that one. Give me that one, baby. You guys out there, you good with that? Dolphins making the Super Bowl every year. I would love that. I won't get tired of that. I'm watching the damn Patriots. I'm getting tired of them going all the time. It's our damn turn. Oh, I think it was once called the Antonio Brown Bowling and Bath Salts Houses of Horror. Nice, Dougie Fresh. Nice one. I like it. No, but I'm wondering. I wonder if they have another one. I know people are Googling right now, trying to see if there's an old name that we forgot. But I think we've nailed them all. I had forgotten Sound Advice. That's the one that I needed that I forgot. Sony Cruzan, Perfect Vodka, Coral Sky, Sound Advice, and now the I Think Financial Amphitheater. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's one we forgot. You know? And have any of these, none of them have lasted, right? It's usually like maybe 2 years, 3 years, no more than that on average, and then they're gone. It's crazy, too, because it's a pretty popular amphitheater. It has a lot of action that goes with it. And yet, I don't know, are they charging too much? You may want to charge it a little less so you can keep the continuity going and then keep the same. That way you don't go back to Coral Sky and you're not making any money for a while. You know, I think that's what they're doing at the AAA right now. I think American Airlines Arena is not paying jack right now. I think so. I think right now the AAA is being called the AAA because they haven't sealed the deal with a new sponsor, so they don't want to go and call it, change everything to whatever Miami Arena again or whatever you want to call it, and then add a sponsor and then change everything again. So that's double. So just keep it AAA until you get the new sponsor. Interesting. So there you go. But if there's one I'm missing, tell me, because I think we've got all 6. But who knows? Maybe we're off. All right, Khobi Price from the South Florida Sun Sentinel is going to join us next. Dion Waiters has come clean. He's admitted his faults. He's showing maturity. He's freaking me out. Khobi Price covers the Crazy One and the Miami Heat for the South Florida Sun Sentinel. We talk to Khobi next. I promised you Khobi Price will be joining us from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. I thought he had a really interesting article today talking about Dion Waiters. And, of course, you can follow my man on Twitter at Khobi_P, like I and so many others do, and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel, covering a little Heat, covering a little Inter Miami, and, of course, FAU football. In other words, he does it all, bro. That's what he is. He's like Saguafair. He's everywhere. That's what it's all about. Khobi, how you doing, baby?
Considering everything that's been happening, I'm doing well for myself. Doing pretty well.
So let me ask you, because this is a tough day for all of us. For me, this is like a really awkward day to do radio. It's just so tough. And when you have to talk about other subjects, and we've kind of not really, we've stayed on Khobi most of the time, but we have had a couple of things like what we're going to do here. But before I get into that, what did Khobi mean to you, man? You tell me.
Khobi was one. I was born in '96. I was born a few months after Khobi Bryant was actually drafted in the NBA. He was drafted by Charlotte and traded to the Lakers. So for me, I know a lot of people in my generation will say we never really got to see Michael Jordan consistently or on that level. By the time I can remember, Michael Jordan was on the Wizards, and that's clearly not the Michael Jordan most people remember. So to me, Khobi Bryant was that iconic figure who always felt like he was celebrated in basketball, but he was just more than a basketball player to me and many people in my generation and around the world. He was a figure that represented resiliency, represented hard work, represented greatness, represented excellence, and he was very much that. And he was a motivational and inspirational person. No matter what, you could ask yourself, what would Khobi say or what would Khobi do in a situation? And that was something that could uplift you in a day, get you through a challenge, whether it's not just in sports and basketball, but other sports, through school, through work. Honestly, simply making the best of the situation and powering through and getting excellence out of yourself every single moment of every single day. And that's what Kobe Bryant meant to me. I think that's his long-lasting legacy. And he did it outside of basketball. Whether it was getting his Oscar for a short film or even his book, that was what Kobe Bryant to me meant. It was more than just basketball.
Yeah.
It was the excellence that he brought to everyday life.
I'm with you there. There's no doubt about that. So let me ask you. I know that you've been covering the Heat too, and they're playing the Magic tonight. Have you heard anything on what the Heat is going to do? Because I guarantee you they're going to do something to honor Kobe, because that's what Riley does. He does these kind of things. They're very conscious about all this kind of stuff.
No, I haven't actually heard anything. The team made statements yesterday. By the time that the news broke out, we were at practice yesterday, but by the time news broke out, we had left. Unfortunately, however you want to say it. But yeah, everybody had left, and it seemed like everything was going to be broken up. And then when we were working in the media room, that's when I found out the news, and I was like, man, this is unreal. But I've heard nothing about what they plan on doing tonight. Yesterday, multiple teams paid tribute to Kobe, whether it's a moment of silence or dribbling out the shot clock to start the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I would expect the Heat to do something. What it's going to be, I'm not entirely sure. We'll see tonight, but they're going to do something, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt that they will plan on something. I mean, hell, you saw Mark Cuban come out and say nobody's going to wear 24 again, even though he didn't play for our organization, which is just absolutely amazing. That stuff like that would come out already. But I'm not surprised. That's the kind of impact that this guy had on this sport and so many other people, because he was always so willing to give back now. And that's the one thing about Kobe. Watching him mature is something that's been an absolute treat to see him grow up. Now, question is, did you witness somebody growing up a little bit for the Miami Heat in Dion Waiters? Because Kobe, this is a guy that just seems like he's unreachable. He's kind of a knucklehead. He kind of is just into himself. And, we read your quotes on your story on the air, and it sounded like a guy that, I don't know, is he understanding of where he's at and what he needs to do? Is Dion Waiters growing up? Are you buying it or are you selling it?
I'm buying it. I'm buying it because when you go through, I'm not sure what more it would take for him to understand the magnitude of everything that happened. I think it would be different if we spoke to him back in maybe December or November or even October when he was all going through this. But, I mean, he's had time to reflect. He's had time to think about it, speak with his family, speak with the Heat, speak with team officials, speak with the ones that are closest to him. So I am buying at least that he's had time to reflect, and he is just taking responsibilities up front. We were not able to speak to him about every single instance we got cut off. Our time got cut off with our interview with him. However, it did seem like he was sincere in the most Dion way when addressing everything. It felt very Dion. It wasn't the Heat threw him out there and said, you're going to say this, that, or the other. It felt very Dion in everything that he was saying.
Well, you're not throwing that guy out there to say whatever. You're not going to tell that guy's not going to do that anyway if you know him. So that's why I asked, because this had to have come from him. Now the question is this really what he believes? Is this really what he's going to do? Is he going to follow, the right footsteps and wait for his opportunity? Because, hey, Kobe, let's be honest, dude. Those opportunities are going to come. Guys get injured, especially Goran Dragic. He cannot stay healthy. His body, is just breaking down before our eyes.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Even when he was so upset earlier seemed like he was so upset about his playing time. It was like, time early in the season, there were still ample playing time to go around because, like you said, guys get injured. I mean, Justice Winslow's been out more than he's been present or been active. Jimmy Butler gets banged up every 10 or so games. Goran Dragic's been out. Kendrick Nunn has this Achilles problem now, or a sore Achilles. So, if anything, there's been guys in the in the backcourt, the guards, the wing rotation that's really been hurting throughout the season. So there's been an ample amount of time, and I think he can see that. He can see that, man, there's been so many opportunities that if I was on my best behavior or if I'd done things right, I would have played. Or this team's doing so well without me, so it's not like they truly, like, they got into this record without me. They don't truly need me to succeed. So that's almost an ego check in your mind.
Which one of those quotes, Khobi, got you and you say, okay, you're buying it? Because he said a couple of things out there where you had to say, okay, this is the most maturity I've ever seen from Dion in this process, or since he's been here with the Miami Heat, or maybe in his entire career. What part of yesterday's interview really got you?
The part that I will continue to always remember was when he was talking about how he has the people in his life and that helps him get through everything, the family support. He said it's an experience and a learning lesson at the end of the day. I didn't feel like I lost anything besides my money. It'll come back around. That wasn't really showing the maturity. That was just something funny that I found, because it was like, yeah, you lost a lot of money by everything that happened, all these suspensions. But I think the first quote was like, at the end of the day, I'm a grown man. I don't point fingers. And he said himself, he could easily say this or that, but at the end of the day, it's him. He made certain decisions. He has to take responsibility for them. He acknowledged himself that it's not like this is something that broke him. This isn't something that shattered his life or shattered him as a person, but he acknowledged it was his fault, and he moved past it and he looked forward. And at the end of the day, I mean, I think that it's believable to me because the Heat are still supporting him. Eric Spoelstra didn't have to play him on Friday against the Clippers. They could have simply gone with a short rotation. They could have gone with a small rotation and just let it be that. They don't, as we see, the Heat aren't in a position where they truly need to put Dion out there over and over or throughout games to be successful. No. Granted, they still lost that game. However, throughout the season, they don't need to. So the fact that they're still supporting him and they're still putting those opportunities in front of him just says to me, you know what, they must believe in him, because if not, they could have just said, look, we're going to pay you, we're going to do whatever, but just stay home because we don't need you around here.
Khobi, what do you think his relationship is with Spo? Because obviously Spo has had to take the higher road and forget about his comments that, he can't coach, anybody can coach the big three and all that stuff. That was pretty insulting and ignorant, too, on top of all of that, because I think anybody with some common sense knows Spo is one freaking hell of a coach as it is. So I'm wondering, and I guess you just said the interview was cut short, and I'm sure that question would have come up, or did it come up? Did anybody get to ask him where his relationship is with Spo? Because I know you guys talked about how he asked him and how he responded, but did you get more into it?
No, yeah, we were talking about it afterwards. Some of the reporters that was one of the questions that we would have asked, or along those lines. His reaction or his comments now, and the comments that he made about Spo, that the social media comments, all the incidents, all those things we weren't really able to get into, because when we wanted to get into it, that's when we were cut off. But his relationship with Spo, I mean, when he was speaking with reporters, Spo was speaking with reporters towards the end of his session. He said, "You guys waiting for Waiters Island is right over there," and he pointed to Dion. And Spo, obviously, he FaceTimed Dion before Friday or on Friday to tell him that there would be playing opportunity, or ask him if he was ready. So I think there's a professionalism with their relationship. We haven't really spoken to Spo about it either, but I think there is a certain level of professionalism there. That Spo, of course, I mean, he's an elite coach. There's no other way to say he's an elite coach. He knows how this goes. He's been around. He's been around for what, 12 years now? So he knows how this goes. That's as a head coach. He's been around for the organization longer. So he knows how this goes. There's tension. Obviously, I'm sure at some point it was contentious. But he's a part of the roster. He's a part of the team. You could say, hey, man, take your ball and go home. But they're not, because I'm sure they think they can figure it out. And I'm sure Spo has some part of saying, I think me and Dion can work this out, and we can figure out a way to make this a relationship that can help both of us.
Khobi Price, by the way, you can follow him on Twitter at Khobi_P. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. All right, so tonight, first of all, and dude, I know this is an impossible question for most of you. I've been on that Heat beat for years. so I know how they stay clamped down. But did you get to see Kendrick Nunn walk around, jog around? Did you see him at all? Should we be concerned? Because, dude, when you hear Achilles, that's some scary ass stuff. So what do we got?
Yeah, I actually didn't see him. If I wasn't, I just didn't see him. Maybe I could have paid closer attention, but I talked to other reporters, and they said they didn't see him either. So we didn't speak with him at all because we just didn't see him on the practice floor. Now maybe he did practice, maybe he did a little bit of treatment while he was there, but we didn't see him. But this is the first time that he's been injured all season. First time I remember him being on the injury report at all. So it is concerning, and they're saying that it's soreness as of right now, and
bilateral Achilles. What the hell is bilateral Achilles? What does that mean?
Man, if I was WebMD, I wish I could tell you. I tried to look it up the other day. He just said it came back to Achilles for me, and we got the official injury report after practice was over, so we couldn't get the clarification of Achilles versus bilateral Achilles, but. It is concerning, especially when Achilles comes up. You kind of cringe when you hear that word. But I mean, if anything, the Heat know that they have a deep roster. They have talented guys, so they're not going to rush him back. And you have the All-Star break coming up in about 2 weeks, so 2 weeks from now, if he's not ready, you get another week off, so you can go almost 3 weeks and just see if he's what he needs to do if it comes to that. Now, it may just simply be soreness. Some guys just get sore back there. They have a little tightness and tension, and they just need to take a little break off and get some treatment. But it's very unclear with them, especially since we didn't speak with him about how he's feeling.
All right. What do you know about Goran? What do you know about Butler?
Goran said that he sustained it was originally soreness, calf soreness, but it's actually a bruise, which bruises can be difficult to gauge. It didn't seem like he was really doing much at practice. He wasn't trying to put a whole lot of pressure on it. He said that today would be really the first time he tried to do game-like activities this morning to see how he felt before the game. So at that point, I'm not feeling the greatest about chances to play tonight, but we will see, especially with the bruise. If he doesn't play today and they have a back-to-back against the Celtics tomorrow, then he'll be able to get another 4 days off until they have a game on Saturday. So I can see the Heat taking a cautious approach with Goran and saying, "Hey, sit these 2 games out. We'll see if we get you ready for Saturday when they go to Orlando to play the Magic." As for Butler, he said he was just simply banged up. Said that's what happens around this time of the year. Many teams go through it. He said with the ankle sprain, he said it's not the worst ankle sprain he's had. He's had worse. It's they always say the next day is when you really know how bad it is. He said he was in pain, and he was even in pain yesterday. But he seems like they're still trying to gauge it. He says he wants to play, but the Heat are obviously they're going to work. This is a partnership. They're going to work with each other and see the benefits of playing versus the risk of making it worse, because he was getting banged up multiple times throughout that game against the Clippers.
Okay. I don't know if you know, what's it called? Will Carroll, the injury expert. But while we're talking, I am texting Will, and I said, "What does bilateral Achilles mean?" He says both right and left legs.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So both his Achilles.
Yeah, you got a scoop now on top of everybody else, buddy. Run with it. And then I said, "Wow." I said, "Really? Wow, is that bad?" He goes, "Isn't good." So that's what bilateral Achilles means. That means he's having some issues with both Achilles.
Yeah, it wasn't clear when we originally heard about that, but yeah, that is concerning. I wouldn't be surprised if Kendrick had out not just I don't think he plays tonight. He's not going to play tomorrow, and I don't see him at the earliest coming back until Saturday. And yeah, that's the possibility. It really depends on how he reacts to the treatment, or how much he heals and how much the pain or whatever's going on down these changes.
He's a good follow on Twitter. Injury expert is the handle on Twitter. Will Carroll. We have him on every week on Fridays to talk about the biggest injuries going on in sports. So I just asked him because I had no idea what the hell bilateral is, and I thought maybe they. But I know the Heat; they're not going to really give you guys any kind of info. They're gonna. I mean, they're so good at hiding everything, dude. It's just we still don't know why Green was high a couple of years back in that hotel. We still have no idea what happened to that kid. I mean, that's how good this team is at hiding all that stuff. On any other team or any other team in town, that information would have gotten out. Somehow or another, nobody on the beat is able to get it. I mean, it's you know that is the toughest beat to cover, right? Like to get any kind of info.
Oh yeah.
It's not even close, dude. I'm sure they all walked you through it before you took over, right?
Yeah, they let me know. I've been made very aware that they are very tight with their information. If something doesn't want to get out, it does not come out.
It's not going to come out, man. It really is amazing. Now, let me ask you one more thing, Khobi, before I let you go. Khobi Price, of course, from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Well, actually, two things. Got to get your Super Bowl prediction, too. How does the Heat players and the Heat coaching staff handle this game? Because I was talking about this in one of my segments. This is one of the few games that you walk into it already pissed off as a fan. Why? Because you're constantly remembering all the losses the last couple of years when you know that the team is better than that team. You know the Heat is better than the Magic over the last couple of years, but somehow or another, they find ways to lose to this team all the time. So I'm just, Kendrick Nunn, and I know he's not playing tonight, but Tyler Hero and some of these new guys, they don't have that kind of built-up frustration. I'm just wondering. Neither does Jimmy Butler, but some of the other guys, the coaching staff, damn it, don't they have that frustration like, stop losing to these guys already?
Yeah, no, we talked to Jimmy about that yesterday. Actually, he said that someone asked him. He mentioned that this is an important game because they got smacked earlier this year when they were in Orlando, and now they're going to be able to play them tonight, and Saturday. And he says he very much believes in state championships. And he said that the Magic probably think they're the best team in Florida. And he said that they know, Butler meaning the Heat know that they're a better team, but they simply have to prove it. But yeah, it is weird how sometimes teams just simply have your number across like many years, and it's like the Heat are obviously. I mean, you can look across years. This year, they're obviously the better team, but for some reason, sometimes it's a bad matchup. Things don't work out. Yeah, but they're aware. They're very aware, and like I said, they're fighting for a state championship tonight, or 1/4 of their state championship goals tonight.
Well, let's hope they get it done. All right, we got this game on Sunday. I think it's called like the Super Bowl or some crap like that. And there's like
something like that.
Yeah, something like that. There's like San Francisco and Kansas City. So we got two teams that use two letters just to describe their teams, SF and KC. So you tell me who you going with? What's your prediction, Khobi Price? Who wins the Super Bowl?
Ooh, my prediction is that we will have Kansas City taking it home back to Middle America with a Super Bowl. And Patrick Mahomes will be the Super Bowl MVP, capping off one of the better 2-year runs to start a QB's career.
Yeah,
an MVP 1 year, winning Super Bowl MVP the next year.
That would be pretty freaking amazing. I'm with you on KC. I love KC in this game. I love the over also. The under in this game. So why do you have KC winning?
I think that this game, it'll probably be a little scrappy. I think that KC will honestly be able to impose their will and their style of play on this game, especially more so late. I know that San Francisco, they're going to want to. Sometimes you're a little concerned about Garoppolo. Is he going to make those big passes? And I like Garoppolo. I think he's a very talented guy, but I'm not sure how much he's going to be able to stay in this game, and I feel like he's going to make he's due for like an interception a game. You can just chalk it up. It feels like at some point, or he's going to throw an errant pass, and I think in the Super Bowl, it's not going to be a game where you can make many mistakes. I think there's going to be one mistake on San Francisco's side that is just going to hurt them in the end, whether it's in the red zone, that midway point or middle of the field on a crucial drive. I think there's going to be one crucial mistake that is going to give KC even more momentum. And we see KC, they're just electric. They can put up points at a rapid rate, regardless of what defense they're going up against. So I think it's that burstability combined with San Francisco maybe not being the tightest team is going to probably come back to help KC take home the Super Bowl, take home the big game.
I'm with you. I like KC in this game, and one of the reasons why I like it is what they did in Tennessee. They shut down Derrick Henry. They limited him to 7 yards in the second half, which, by the way, at the moment that I'm saying 7, I'm watching a Michael Vick promo of something that they're showing of Michael Vick on ESPN, and he wore number 7. That's funny. Anyway, so
that's going to be good.
Yeah. There it is, Michael Vick, part 1. I'm looking forward to that. 30 for 30. Okay. Anyway, so they limited Henry to 7 yards in the second half. Playing that physical against that team, that defense has gotten better, and I think it's a little underestimated. And I think they got the Tevin Coleman injury, so they won't have 3 backs. They'll have 2. I think they're going to shut down that run, and they're going to force Garoppolo to beat them. And Kansas City actually ran the ball some this past week, against Tennessee. I think they'll be able to do something in the run game, but more than anything, it'll be a shootout between 2 quarterbacks, and I don't think Garoppolo can keep up with Pat Mahomes. I think Mahomes wins it, and I'm a Garoppolo fan, but, dude, Mahomes is the freak of all freaks. That guy is just, forget it. He's at another level. So for me, that's why I got it, because I think they'll shut down the run like they did to Tennessee. And that's the difference, that I think this KC defense is now ready, not to be great, but to be good enough to give you that platform to win. That's what I'm doing. I'm sticking with that.
And that's all you need at that point. You don't have to have a great defense across the entire season. Just whose defense, and like you said, KC's defense just gets better throughout the season, and I think they're going to have a good enough performance, and the offense will hum, especially I think middle of the game and later on they'll hum. And this is going to be one of those games that they may fall behind a little bit early, but then in the late second quarter, third quarter, it's going to open up for KC, and that'll be what all she wrote.
All right, Khobi, I said I was going to let you go, but now I'm not, because you're on another beat, and I got to ask you, dude, when the hell is Paul McDonough and Inter going to get the international players in, bro? Like, come on. Like, we need the big guns out here. Let's go. What's going on with that, bro? What's the latest?
The latest, I spoke with Paul about it, and he said that he doesn't want to wait until the summer. So those big time international players that you hear linked to Inter Miami, if they're coming to the summer, they're not allowed to come to the summer. It's not looking like it's going to happen, or it's less likely to happen because he wants to get his roster figured out as soon as possible. But he told me that through his previous time in Orlando and Atlanta, he learned that you have to be patient. And yeah, the season it starts in almost a month, so the patience is almost wearing thin. You want to have that roster set, but you still have another couple of weeks to get the roster in place while the team is in training. And he isn't putting the time on it. He said he doesn't want to wait until the summer. That wouldn't really make sense for the team and for the organization, but he doesn't sound unwilling to do that. So there is truly no timeline on it. The only thing they told us is he would prefer not to wait. He would rather get it done sooner than later, but he's not going to rush himself. He's not going to rush the process. He's going to do his due diligence to make sure that everything is the right fit.
All right, well then, because, if you want to make the claim that you want to be great from the get-go and you want to get into the playoffs, you're going to need those guns right from the get-go, because the current team that they have right now, I don't know if they even get in the playoffs, but we'll see. We will see. Let's hope they can get those big guns. Follow Khobi on Twitter. As you can see, he covers like 700 beats, so he's all over the place. So he'll have all kinds of nuggets. Khobi_P. And Khobi, now you can work on a story. It's double Achilles, baby. That's a concern.
Oh,
That's a concern.
bilateral Achilles.
Yeah. All right.
I'm walking slowly, just hearing that.
Good stuff. Khobi, thank you for taking some time, my man. I really appreciate it. There you go.
Appreciate you having me.
You got it, baby. All right, Khobi Price, man, from the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Plenty to talk about with that young man. Bilateral Achilles. How about that? That means dual Achilles. That means my man is having trouble with both Achilles. Wow. I'm not a doctor. Did not sleep at a Holiday Inn last night, so I have no idea. But wow. Both right and left legs, that's nuts. I don't know how bad it is. I hope it's not bad. I hope he's able to overcome it. Wow. He's had such a great year, too, man. You know? He's had such a phenomenal year. And it's amazing. It really is. I hope it's not a serious injury. All right. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. If you want to get in, 786-322-1105 on the, you see it right under this, the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. Let's tell you about Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Boy, that dealership is just rocking and smoking. And right now, the ILX 209, the TLX 249, the RDX 339, the MDX 349. It's Customer Appreciation Month. Get on down there to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Tell them that Big O sent you, and I promise you they will take care of you. They're great people out there, Larry Schlossberg and all the amazing people. And if you own or lease an Acura, go see Jordan Ferber, go see Mike Chan, amazing people running that service center at the finest Acura dealership on the planet. It is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.